You just gotta slash it up.
Well, his name is Slasher, so he does just that. Either way, the defense being relatively tankier for CLG, more of what we've seen in previous sets. The offense now setting up and on its way, and YIKES doesn't appear to be having much chill here. An early hook comes in, and Hydration should bite the dust. He goes down after the Bionade, and XQC connects the charge. It's 2 quick kills here from YIKES, and they have thrown CLG back.
It's a very easy flowchart with XQC. Is someone in front of me within a reasonable distance? Do I have charge available? Then I'm slamming that charge. He charges so quickly all the time. His aggression, it's constant, and teams need to learn how to play around it a little bit, but sometimes it's just impossible to do. It's as good of a first take as you can ask for.
They're keeping momentum going forward here as another hook connects. Roadhog saying grounded, and why not, as... Still though, CLG able to get some degree of stability here.
Hooks. He seems like a hungry fella.
Well, he's a growing boy. In any case, YIKES right now keeping the momentum moving forward. XQC gonna charge in, both Reinhardts canceling each other out, but the Nano Boost comes in on the XQC, but he's not able to get healed up. The Bionade preventing that in turn. Dante, though, going to do some heavy lifting. Connects the Pulse Bomb in the back, and YIKES still pushing forward here as Hydration finds himself thrown to the back once more.
Couple nice kills, and Pizza is so charged up right now. Space will hit one of those clicks onto Shake, and they are rolling through on the back of their tanks right now. Well, we have a brief break, as I read chat constantly. Is the overlay correct? It's so important.
It is correct.
Right? Oh, man.
It is absolutely correct.
ZP on the spot already. No need to even bother with chat. So, resetting here as we set the stage. XQC, Earthshatter, Miso going to have Graviton. Those are the things you want to look at, but even a Grav might not be great. Well, actually, that's an early pop of Bullhog from Space.
Meanwhile, you look at Miso, has the Graviton at the right for the defense if it's required. With Gingermop going down, it might not be, but it's 5 versus 5 now. And XQC connects the Earthshatter out of nowhere, knocking down 3 members of the CLG team. And XQC certainly rolling, probably doing the other as well, as YIKES easily gets through the second.
It's the super aggression, because I was thinking that Space should save that whole hog in case they got grabbed, because it's great as a disengagement so that people are pushed away, aren't able to get in the position that they want to do it, and it's great to close out the second point, but they had it up, they just smash it, they start the fight with it. Waffle comes over the top with the tactical visor and gets nothing. Now he's going to switch on the McCree, grab incoming.
The grab comes in first from the offense, 3 members sucked in, fall through, going to result in 5 versus 5 here, but Waffle, nothing he can do, melted down in the back, no protection for that McCree after the Graviton, and YIKES continuing their relentless assault. Miso didn't even have a chance to get a good Graviton off there.
YIKES indeed. This is just rolling through, unstoppable. This is kind of what Kings Row has been lately, these unstoppable offenses, and pretty good on the defense to just be waiting here. They need all 6 out here. They only have 1 shot. A lot of it's on Miso.
Miso drops in the Graviton. CLG looking for any force stabilization. No, Mikado can't even pulse or drop the beat. He gets blown up by Dante and the pulse bomb in the back. That is a terrible beat here for CLG. No sound barrier means they're going to get wiped out in the back, and YIKES finishes off with authority. Oh no, Dante. He's channeling his inner Sinatra at the very end.
He earned it. He earned it. He's just sticking pulse bombs all day today.
There was a lot of things, you know, like, if everything could go wrong, it went wrong, I think, for CLG on that defense. I think there was a really big hook from Space to open up the round. I think XQC blocked the shatter, hit his own shatters. I mean, at the end there, Mikado wanted to hit a sound barrier, but it got pulse bombed. Like, literally every single fight, something went terribly wrong for CLG, so they've definitely, I mean, they did this to themselves. We said at the beginning, they shouldn't probably have picked this map, I think.
Yeah, they're making it really difficult. Dante is also getting in the back line and hit, and the combo with Zarya is going rather well. Though Waffle played okay, but it seems like lately that KR is lending itself better to maybe even Tracer and Zarya rather than the Soldier sometimes, just because you automatically have the combo. Hydration was not hitting as many hooks as Space as we talked about it before the map, and that's a big reason why they were able to get so much space opened up on the field and to win the beginning of a lot of this fight.
Well, certainly now you take a look at CLG as they prepare for their offense. They are going to have a lot on their plate because they have to not only finish out the map, but they probably have to do it with at least 2 minutes left if they want to even entertain the idea of bringing this one back. We have seen some pretty crazy comebacks in Overwatch in recent times. Don't get me wrong, you can't ever write out a team. But everything was going about the way that YIKES had planned in the last round, so it will be difficult for CLG to reverse course to the extent that they're going to need to bring this one back.
And YIKES' defense has already looked good on this map today, and what they did to Selfless earlier was amazing. You just don't expect that anymore. King's Row, once upon a time, was a pretty defensive map where teams could hold first point. You didn't see it too often, but you definitely have to favor YIKES in this situation right now, as just how good that offense went and how good they've shown they can play defense on first point.
YIKES right now holding back, giving plenty of room to CLG, and it's a nice fire strike coming in. Damages almost the entirety of the YIKES side, building up Shiny's out pretty well, but Shiny charges in almost without a purpose there, gets immediately taken down, and all of a sudden, YIKES, plenty of room to counter-engage a space, comes in on the flank, and gets his man in shake.
Yeah, Dante also pressuring the backline too as they look for stragglers to get those kills, and they will find yet another one. That's as good as their first offense went. That's about as good as your first defense can go. Ginger Pop throws a Kobe shot up over the sky. We'll see if that lands and gets some damage here. Ginger Pop's got set nades for days.
Ginger Pop has been playing Ana at a ridiculously high level, whether it be set nades or just simply staying alive in the back, shaking pressure, and staying alive. Now, you see the offense of CLG setting up here once more. YIKES again, letting CLG move into them, but then counter-punching hard when it's time. The hook misses from hydration, and Space as well, but Space gonna crack things open with the whole hug here as Dante explodes in the back for yet another pulse bomb.
This has been a revelation. Dante, mostly when I've seen him before, has played such a good diva. They are going to pop this very late nano visor. It starts with Dahoon. They will get grabbed, but now there's no one to really clean up this grab mess. 5-6 now rotating onto the point. They have flipped it back in their favor.
They've certainly flipped it back, and YIKES is simply running out of personnel to stall this out or buy time. XQC going to be one of the final ones to fall here on the point. Dante still in and around, but there's only so much you can do in a 1v5 situation as Tracer, particularly when Pulse Bomb is not up.
My ultimate is charging.
Well, Miso, at certain points, has been a little bit of an afterthought on his Zarya, just mostly based on the Zarya we've seen throughout the tournament, but he had a great life there, is going to try to get a grab up here. They are loaded for this next fight, and it's going to take everything that YIKES has to not lose this one, because by the numbers, it should be the offense's fight.
Well, Miso opens up the grab, pulls in 4, most of them protected by the library, but with Waffle picking off the stragglers from the high ground, this, as you predicted, will not go very well for YIKES at all. However, if you look at it from a more macro point of view, it's fine in the bigger scheme of things because a lot of ultimates were cashed in there by CLG, and YIKES has a much better outlook for this next fight in terms of having 3 ultimates up.
That was a fight that they needed to not use ultimates in, so they did do at least their part, and there will be another fight, maybe even 2 before the second point gets there, because the cart does move slow through the street, so they're going to fight a little outside of the corridor, a little bit more open space. We'll see where defense wants to posture up. I'm keeping eyes on XQC because his shatters today have been great.
I'm watching XQC as well. The Earth Shatter comes in. Shiny throws it away. Ult some shields for nothing as XQC can just roll in. And guess what? He doesn't even have to use his Shatter here because of how whiffed that engage was from CLG. Not Shiny's best moment.
It's not just about the shatters you hit, it's about the shatters you block, and XQC has been equally good on that front today as well. You saw it right there. He's having an amazing tank performance on all sorts of different heroes. And XQC gets, you know, he's a divisive personality, but you can take nothing away from his play.
XQC didn't blink. I mean, he's the one guy that could probably have a staring contest with Tuco and actually succeed. So, I don't know. Earthshatter still in play here for XQC, waiting for his opportunity. CLG giving a lot of respect to this. Here comes Waffle, though, on the flank. Tac flies up and gets slept. It's a beautiful sleep coming in. Stops that flank right in its tracks. XQC might be down, but the Graviton is in from YIKES, and Dante is there at the follow-through.
Yeah, the grab into Pulse Bomb yet again takes down Miso, so they have most of the people that they need alive on the cart. The supports get separated out here, and somehow Mikado and Shake are still alive, but that is not for long as Pizza finishes him down. And XQZ got hooked in there, and they were able to take him out with the whole hog, but the silver lining of dying like that means Earthshatter is still in play.
YIKES in a great position here. 2 minutes left here for the offense, and not a whole lot of resources go in. They will have a Graviton soon, but again, they have to get through and set this up properly. Meanwhile, YIKES holding back, just daring CLG to move into them. And XQC still with the threat of Earthshatter that could be dropped at a moment's notice, but the threat's sometimes more effective than the actual skill with how much respect CLG is giving this right now.
Yeah, they're playing very far back. Shiny worried every second that he just doesn't have XQC in his sight, so he's trying to keep that shield up on him. Pulse Bomb does end up whipping one of the first ones that's whipped today for Dante. XQC tries to get past him, does only knock down 2 in the back, but Waffle, Jake, Shiny all fall.
It works out in the end. They get 3 kills off of it, off of a 2-man Earthshatter, and YIKES, able to clean it up. A minute 30 left, and they are in a great position for the next fight where, guess what, Hex? Big Bang combo, very likely be in effect.
It's really nice positioning from XQC, and as he gets even at the hip level with him and then just jukes around him. You don't necessarily have to crack the shield or anything like that or flank. If you can just get even and find that small angle, which he did, your shadows can be effective.
And look, Pizza just moving in, drops the Graviton, pulls in 3, and Space is there at the whole hog, cleaving through the shield and cleaving through CLG in that moment. It's not a bloodbath, but it's enough to buy time, and time is something that CLG simply does not have right now. They're down to their final 45 seconds, and really, I think it comes down here to the tank play where Miso and Shiny are going to have to open up things for CLG here if they want to get through second and entertain the idea of even finishing out King's Row.
Well, it's going to be 5-3 ultimate-wise. So, you know, you crunch the numbers and you say they should win this. This is how they won their first fight through Streets phase by an overwhelming ultimate advantage. Got eyes, you got to keep on Miso. Well, I wonder if Waffle goes for some sort of flank through the right side alley. Pulse Bomb misses again from Dante.
Pulse Bomb misses, Sound Bearer's in, and CLG seizing the opportunity here. They get the early pick on the Dante, and now they're looking for more. XQC, nano boosted, not much comes of it. The Graviton is in and pulls in 2. Hydration right there at the special delivery, and CLG, they have to cash in a lot of their power here, Hex, but they will get this through to the second point.
That's a pretty cool Graviton, actually. He was able to get himself off to the side and kind of curve it around one of the shields there and then pull people back away from position so they could deal with everything that was in their nearest vicinity and then deal with the targets in the Graviton. You don't necessarily need grab, then kill them immediately. It takes them out of the fight, especially if they're tanks with limited range.
CLG keeping the momentum moving forward, 3 ultimates at the ready, and this is where a team can win this fight and snowball it into a victory. But the hook comes in early on here from Space, finds Mikado, Shiny donates an Earthshatter into nothing, and XQC says this is how you pound the ground with a hammer, knocking him right down. But
somehow,
Waffle,
I mean, he had the boost, but he got Earthshatter and charged. Still alive, wakes up, realizes I still got a bit of my tactical visor left, cleans up the remainder of that.
That was a crazy fight in terms of how much it switched back and forth, but the one upside here for YIKES is that they are able to get full 6 up. It was not a decisive victory here for CLG, and CLG now going to have to clutch on Hydration. One of the only ultimates up, Pulse Bomb at the ready, and there's a big clump of YIKES members there. 3 blinks are up, and Hydration playing it safe, standing back as XQC demolishes Shiny in the back, gives his life for it. Both Reinhardt's down, but YIKES buying crucial time right now, and yet Waffle, good positioning, late Graviton in, and there's the Pulse Bomb, Big Bang combo in play, and it blows up Za immediately.
They just threw away Pulse Bomb, and then they had Graviton right after it. Some sequencing issues for the defense right now that could have been so much better. Dante trying to do it now without a Pulse Bomb. They have not been on point as they had most of the day so far. He ends up going down in the back line, but the longer this goes on, the better it is for the defense. Another huge shatter.
XQC pounding the ground, knocking down 3, but the sound barrier leaving them alive for now. Still, YIKES fighting. They would rather finish this off here as XQC explores the lava down below. CLG not giving up here just yet, still swarming around the point. Mikado picking up 2, sending Za to his death into the pit as well. And Hydration still threat in the back. Nano boosted Tracer perhaps will be CLG's ticket in, but Dante does more in the back. The Pulse Bomb connects, and CLG barely hanging on by a thread.
Ginger Pop's had about 3 nano boosts in the last 2 minutes here, and he's just giving them away willy-nilly. That is... I mean, King's Row is quickly becoming my new favorite map again. These have been insane games.
Well, everything comes back, Hex, except Disco. Disco never comes back. It is
interesting.
It feels like he has to run McCree in the chance that Yikes plays Farrah Mercy. Because if they don't, well, then they don't have an answer to it on first point.
I do like running McCree here, at least up until a point where a team shows that they can beat it. However, this is, at times, not the easiest section for McCree to get value on, where if you get dove on really hard in the cafe, you're simply going to die, and iShiny finds Tahoon immediately here, so it's not working too bad here for CLG, and so far, Waffle is getting a lot of space. I just don't know if he's going to get space for a long period of time here.
Well, they might have gone onto this anticipating a pharmacy, right? They've got the Zen, they've got the McCree, and I think they were looking for that. Waffle's getting all the support in the world he needs. He's just hanging out with the supports, which is good because it means he's going to be supported, and also he's going to be able to stop some of the dive. But a huge rocket comes in, and now the dive is in full on.
And this time, Hydration goes down first. Yikes, looking far better here on this dive. They're going to demech Miso. Dante, special delivery, does not quite connect. But either way, it is a successful intrusion into the cafe as Dante and Za just clean up towards the very end.
McCree's good against flankers on the dive, but he's not good necessarily against Winston on the dive. He was able to flashbang XQC, and this is not closed beta where a right click just shreds tanks. So XQC was able to regain his senses and then finish out that dive. They are going to stay on the McCree, Hydration onto the Tracer now too, so interesting composition on this defense. They are running both of the vertical tanks too, so maybe prioritizing retaking high ground.
Well, certainly for the defense, they want to get back on high ground, especially with Waffle on McCree, where for McCree, you're not dealing with as much mobility. It's nice to have the flexibility of being on top, but here comes Pizza. The Tech Visor in progress, but gonna get largely nullified by Miso early on. However, Juice runs out of the defensive matrix, Miso gonna get demeched, and Yikes, still with options of staying in here, even as Za just gets beat up in the corner by iShiny.
Well, they're gonna counter Transcend here, trying to get onto the points. Dante was able to take down Waffle, so that is a lot of their damage now out of the mix here as they try to clean up on defense. Dante is a terror on the ground as he takes down Shake and Shiny as well. They've had no answer for this Tracer. No one's had an answer for Dante today.
Dante has been an inferno, to say the least, and I actually
would
already
you
feel
say
bad.
that Dante is peaking?
We're stopping this right now. We're not, it's too early in the day to be assaulting our viewers like this.
It's never too early for Pierce Brosnan movie references, ever.
That is true. You have a good golden eye for these things, Hex.
Jumping onto the roof as Miso is taken down. Dante finally dealt with by Shake, but trading out back and forth on the cards. 4v4 down there.
It is 4v4 here. Sunbear gonna keep CLG alive in this fight. Yikes, though, swarming all the way around. They're very split, and yet it's working. They find Hydration around one corner, and Waffle digs too deep. He is going to fall. And despite this entire second phase being rather unconventional, Yikes is going to push this through, and CLG gonna be down to their final defense if they want to stop this before last.
I just don't know if they're getting the value that they would like out of Waffle, and I think it's very difficult to run against this composition with Winston and D.Va in it. You're just not going to have it. Dante finds Shake again in the back line, so they're down their Zenyatta. Not a great way to start your defense.
No, it's not, and Waffle just getting booped and bopped around by XQC. Not a winning fight at all, and finally, mercifully, the last swipe comes in. This has been a bit messy and somewhat of a disaster here for CLG, where they haven't been able to get really stabilized at all over the last minute and a half, and Yikes, just swarming around, making consistent progress. A whopping 4 minutes left here as they get in the last.
Shiny spent a lot of time going all the way in the back to deal with Pizza, and I guess he finally got it, but then when he came back, the rest of his team was dead. I think there's a fine line with Winston's between being aggressive and then knowing when to come back and help your team, and he was all the way in there. And yeah, you're right, they have not had a single answer, not had a single real stop on this D yet.
Well, for CLG, they're going to have to hope to find it here on last, but Hollywood Glass is not something we've seen teams hold convincingly, as Za going right to the back, 3 unshielded people there, but Waffle shuts him down. The flashbang buys enough time to end the tactical visor, and that's big for CLG, because not only is Tac Visor out of the equation, but they can push in with the advantage they just gained.
So finally getting a couple kills. Dante will remind them that he's still on the map and take out Hydration. That's going to open the window back up, and that allows XQC to go in a little bit cleaner. They will counterpop the Transcend though.
Transcendence is out, gonna keep Waffle alive and back, but oh no, it's another self-destruct into the back, finds Waffle, not able to get out of there in time, and now the door is open once more here for YIKES. Dante, Pulse Bomb at the ready. Can be mitigated somewhat here by the Sound Bear, but still drops it in and D-Mex Miso in the middle of the fight, and this is just a swarming offense coming in from YIKES, unrelenting pressure, and it's throwing CLG back.
Another thing that you think about McCree is he doesn't really have any escapes. What's going to happen when that self-destruct comes over top, especially when your tank is playing as aggressive as Shiny? That's the only shield they have on the field. They're not going to be able to really even boost him out of there properly if Mikado's not right next to him, so yeah, you're going to die to self-destructs like that, and now it's desperation time, and they've got nothing to work with. XQC could close this out with Primal maybe.
Oh, he's certainly got Primal here. He's going to activate it early, and this is for the disruption, to throw the defense back and create as much room as possible for the rest of the offense to come in here and get kills, and that's exactly what happens. Dante, Space, and Za all going off into the back. Final hook comes on Lucio, not even required, and that is a completion by YIKES with 2 minutes and 3 seconds remaining. That's a very good time for Hollywood.
McCree is often feast or famine, and thus far, that is one hungry cowboy.
The gamble did not pay off. To really, I mean, especially considering that YIKES is running D.Va, there's really not a whole lot he can do.
Yeah, completely agree. I mean, the D.Va and the Winston on him. Winston, maybe you can deal with just a little bit, but they're running the double dive on it. When are you even going to have the windows to deal with it? It was rough showing for Waffletastic.
I want to see some unorthodox picks. I want someone to like try a Reaper, maybe try an Orisa, try a Mei. It's not like they're getting plowed, and that's just to put it nicely. That's the second map in a row.
Is that the nice term? What if plowed is the nice term, Flame? I mean, what is the? There's not a whole lot of tiers under that. Have you invented new words for a team just getting savaged beyond belief?
Savage is definitely more violent than plowed.
Plowed is still a dirty word,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that.
Unless you work on a farm, then it's just your everyday work.
Yeah, you know.
Fair enough.
This is not the time to be trying new things, Flame. This is the time for comfort picks and for things that they should fall back on. Maybe
they should pick maps that aren't gonna work and then get rolled on them. I don't know. I think that they should start picking some. I don't think McCree was the answer. I think you can justify picking some crazy Mei or Orisa or something just to see if it works, because you know the McCree's not working.
They've had success on Hollywood before. They feel like Kings Row is a home map. They should understand that these are also really good maps for YIKES, but there's not really a whole lot they can do just depending on them, because the meta. YIKES is really good on a lot of maps now. They're gonna have to go to some stuff. We're gonna have Farrah Mercy defense coming out, Farrah Mercy offense. This has been a long time since we've seen that here in Hollywood.
Well, Farrah v. Farrah will be the name of this game. Of course, no Widow coming out. That was just a tease to begin with. And we'll get to see the fated battle here between Hydration and Pizza. We thought we'd see it a little bit earlier, but we are going to see it now, as both Farrahs laying in the rockets on the opposing teams, and now they turn their sights to each other.
Yeah, looking over top at each other, ground war begins as Dante's able to take out his counter number in Waffletastic, so that Tracer's going to have largely free reign, can probably come in and try to help out with the combo. It is all defense so far, 2 down, 3 down, and full retreat is on, and they will not leave any survivors.
Just clean coming out from YIKES, where even as both Farrahs were trying to shoot each other to minimal effect, the ground war was heavily won by YIKES, where you get the early Tracer and Tracer kill, and it just snowballs out of control from there. And Dante really being the X factor here for YIKES, where he has been consistent, and he has been probably the biggest thorn in the side of CLG. And as reference to that, the McCree is coming out here again. I'm just not sold that that's the right option here.
Wholesale composition changes as offense realizes it is not going well. Hydration's going to dive right in and try to pressure that combo, but everyone meets him and tries to get onto him. That is going to be a D-Mech. That means the skies are now clear to try to hunt down Waffletastic. The first couple rockets miss, and Waffle finds a kill.
Resurrection gonna come in here for YIKES. They are going back up to full strength here, and now you look at this towards the end of the fight. Very little that Waffle could do to avoid getting dove on by the entirety of the YIKES team. And this is just devastating here so far, where you're getting so much distraction from Dante that it's giving a lot of room to Pizza to do whatever he wants in the back.
Yeah, Hydration went really deep in there, but he had to go so deep that it was around the bend. They anticipated the dive from the D.Va as soon as they saw it. They had the pieces in place to be able to deal with him on the ground, and then it was just really nice retreat from the combo. We'll see if Waffle can find a target here, but not loving this. Self-destruct comes in.
Self-destruct comes in, will force positioning changes out of CLG. Pizza still very much in a great position, and you look at CLG, they're so poked down here, Hex. Even before they start getting picked off, YIKES is mechanically winning this, just landing more shots, forcing better positioning, and not really giving CLG much to work with here.
No, and a late kill on a Hydration will mean that the next push comes out a little bit late. The next push will probably be their second to last one here. This is the turning point, perhaps, because Miso should have Grav here, they should have Sound Barrier, stuff that you want to be able to do. Even maybe a Deadeye to pressure out the combination, but they gotta get Ginger Pop.
The scary thing here, though, is look at Dante, in over the top. We've seen him be consistent in getting early pulse bombs. He's a little bit late to the party this time. The Sound Barrier comes out and Waffle-tastic domes him, taking him out immediately. That is why you play McCree, and this time Waffle-tastic converts and then some. The res is coming in. It resets the fight, but here's a Deadeye, and it's not going to be enough, as Pizza says. It might be high noon, but I'm just a little bit higher.
I mean, the Deadeye would have been great if they had done it maybe in the Transcendence. A huge Earth Shatter from Shiny, though, will knock down 3, and the cleanup is in, so they needed a clutch play out of someone. It happened to be Shiny right there. And in the penultimate fight, if you will, they are able to capture first point.
The problem here for CLG, of course, is that they are way behind on time here. Only 3 minutes to get through second, and just bringing the payload through second alone is going to eat about a minute and a half out of that. So they don't have much of a buffer here. They need to crush the second point if they want to give themselves any hope of getting somewhat even time-wise and making this a map. YIKES is still in a very dominant position.
They're just going to get leapt on right away. XQC with the initiation. Hydration mostly focused on the combo up top. Mitigates a lot of that damage. Allows Waffle some room to do some work as he doesn't have to dodge rockets. And now they start cleaning up half the combo. And no resurrection on the menu here. The cart should move pretty well through Westworld.
This is what CLG needed, where it was somewhat of a whiffed initiation coming in. It's good control of Dante coming in from Waffle, and that's been a big X factor here, where in the last 2 fights, Waffle has contained Dante, and that's given CLG so much breathing room and moving forward. And again, this is what they need, because they're already down to 2 minutes left here. They really can't be stopped as they go forward, and now they have to win this next fight.
Well, here comes the self-destruct up over the top. No one is caught in that one. Hydration just purely on combo duty right now as he's trying to be a nuisance to the Fair of Mercy. The Sound Barrier will come down. Doesn't catch everyone as Miso and Shiny are left out in the cold there. Waffle goes down and Transcend has to come in to supplement.
Well, Hydration doing his best to keep Pizza out of the fight. Doesn't use a self-destruct early on, but there's a Graviton. Self-destruct's gonna come out to protect this just a bit, and it does! Hydration explodes for 2. Dante, though, still a threat, still darting around. And with the barrage coming in from Pizza, that might spell the end of this push for now. Valuable time bought here from YIKES, and CLG on the hot seat. Perhaps just one more good attempt left here, Hex.
There's a great Graviton into self-destruct, but if you don't deal with Ginger, then you know everyone's coming back to life. They really only have one person who can hunt down Ginger on the high ground. It's only going to be Hydration. And with all the pressure he's trying to put on the combo, he's going to be demeched more often than not. So by the time reses are ready to happen, he can just sit up on the rooftops.
Dante holding on to Pulse Bomb doesn't really go for the clump of people on the other side, instead going here at the XQC and focusing down Hydration. It's a 3-on-1. Hydration, not with the loss support, demacked. Pulse Bomb thrown out, sticks, but iShiny still alive, but not for long. Immediately finished off, and that was just weird. CLG put too many people off to the right side, and they got punished, and yet they still might be able to put this forward. Waffle-tastic still in this fight, and we know what McCree can do late, but Dante finishes him off nonetheless.
Dante is trying to do this mostly on his own as Pizza is trying to get himself a little bit out of the fight. They lost Ginger Pop, so all that healing is gone. Shake will be the one dispatching Dante. XQC is in this odd flank position. I think he's waiting for the rest of his team. Then he's going to leap in. Nope, just going to go solo it. He's going to start getting the cleave damage and stall onto the point. There will be another fight on defense.
CLG coming forward when time is not on their side. They just need a little bit more here. Ginger Pump, though, back in this fight. He has the res. Yeah, the resurrection comes in, and CLG gonna have to blow the Transcendence, and they do. Last moment effort here from Shake as Pizza D-Mex hydration and finishes him off. Still, the Graviton in from the offense, and Waffle is there at the follow-through. Not sure they need the Earth Shatter, but sometimes you gotta be sure.
I think he's just working some stuff out right there with that Earth Shatter. He's just a little bit frustrated, just trying to exercise some demons as Shiny puts the hammer on the ground. No matter what, they're going to have a worse time here, as only a minute left to finish out the map. Of course, 2 minutes in the bank for YIKES' side of things, and YIKES is going to go through some big changes right now. They're going to go more grounded pound and add in tanks.
I think the real danger is that CLG needs to finish with at least a second left on the clock if they want another attack, and that is almost mission impossible here. Sound Barrier comes in from the offense. They must win this fight if they want to finish with any time left remaining, and they take down XQC. It's a good isolation early on. Dante, still a threat, but getting zoned out. 2-1 in favor of CLG. They have 42 seconds to bring this into the end.
Well, the good thing is they're going to get this mostly through the hallway, because the defensive team does not necessarily want to fight in this hallway, especially down a man. So they're going to get this push right on the cusp of finishing out. I want to see where Waffle goes. Does he try to do some sort of flank? I mean, it's very hard to get value out of that Deadeye. A beautiful pulse bomb will eliminate Shiny from the fight right away. Now the pressure's on.
Like a falcon from the heavens, Dante descends and reaps death on top of CLG. 15 seconds remaining, and this is effectively as close to a win already as you get from YIKES, because even if they are able to punch this in overtime, Hex, they're not going to get another attack because of the time that YIKES previously set. Either way, CLG going to try and stay alive. Final push on the way. The Deadeye is in, and Waffle just assassinated from behind. Dante is there. 2 kills to 1 in favor of YIKES, and they are piling on here. This final push going to fall apart, and YIKES takes Hollywood and puts themselves up 2-0 here in the upper bracket final.
I think